Hey there, it's me, Sylvan. Just thought I would record a little bit of an update video here. Sort of touch base with where I'm at right now with the channel, how the channel's gone in the last, I don't know, 8 months since the last update video, it seems, and where I'm intending to go in the future. It's gonna be a bit of a ramble, gonna be a bit of me tangenting all over the place, so feel free to jump around the chapters of this video if there's a part you don't really care about. Though it does all sort of tie together for why I plan to do some things, why I want to do some things but can't, that kind of thing. But to start with looking back, since the last update video, which I believe was around the time that I turned on YouTube memberships, things have been going really good for the channel, I'd say. At least in my opinion, though life has been chaotic as hell and a lot of things have made things difficult, both for the channel and real life. What I have done on the channel, I am very happy with. I've been loving the streams, I've been loving all of my usual reaction analysis videos, whether that's anime or Hoyoverse, and I want to keep doing it and do more if I can. But as I alluded to, things in my life over the last half year or so definitely have been chaotic in a way that has made it hard to always be consistent at that, always be consistent at being able to do this thing I love to do. And I won't get into the details of that because that's personal life stuff, but the main thing to understand, as any of you who have been on my channel for a long time and followed my content for a long time would know, that kind of thing has reared its ugly head a few times in this past half year or so. And even just very recently, we can see an example of that, of this lull of videos being consistently released on my channel and stuff that I only really just pulled myself out of recently, catching up with like the Zabai trailers and stuff like that, or even just the fact that I didn't stream this week. These are things I want to do, but don't always have the time or energy for just because of life shit. And it sucks that that is the case. It sucks because I want to do this stuff. I want to do more of it if I can, as I've said. But sometimes, even though I'm trying to be tentative about my growth and like what I'm doing, trying to manage my time within my own capacity, sometimes things have ended up in positions where I'm not being able to do all the things I want to or that I've promised or whatever. Luckily, I've been able to avoid most of that, I feel like. Luckily, I've been able to temper expectations in the right places, though I won't deny that there have been some cases where things haven't quite worked out. Usually for my videos, it's been the just periods where I don't get to things when they immediately release, but I will admit to the handful of people who are still desperately waiting for my Fruits Basket stuff, I am deeply sorry to all of you. That Fruits Basket has slipped through my fingers as much as it has. It's just, as I've said before in posts and stuff, that my anime stuff, currently at least, is not my #1 priority. And usually when life is throwing me these curveballs, the anime has been the stuff to be deprioritized. And unfortunately, while I've been able to keep most of what I've been doing up and consistent and working, I've always wanted to get back to the Fruits Basket thing, but it's just always been on the cutting room floor. That's something I want to change at some point, though I can't guarantee when that happens. And with that, we sort of get to the future side of things, which involves, I feel like, a few sort of contrasting pieces. But moving from the past and into what I want to do about the future, before we really step into that, I sort of want to re-acknowledge more directly and properly why I made this channel in the first place and what I ultimately am getting and wanting from this channel, which is, it is a place for me to wear my passions on my sleeve. It is a place where I can talk about the things I am passionate about in a way that makes me even more passionate. Something that in my actual life, I, to an extent, get plenty well. To say that I am unexpressed in my daily life is not entirely true, but there is something that I have gained from this channel, very much so in that sense of being more open about what I like, why I like it, and being able to express that in ways that have tangibly helped me in my life. And I want to continue having that be the case. The motivation being that passion, and to continue wear that passion on my sleeve regardless of anything. And I intend that to be the case. But it's here where, moving towards the future, we come to where that intersects with reality. And with that in mind, looking to just the recent past few months, the channel passed by the 1,000 subscriber milestone about like a month ago or something like that. I'd have to double check the exact date to see when. And that is a milestone that, though I easily have imagined what that would be like, what it would be like to get even further, it's something that is, it feels very different when I actually get there. It's the kind of thing that I don't really know how to express or properly show my appreciation for. That even if plenty of them are like dead subs or whatever, that there are that many people who showed an interest in what I'm doing and showed an interest in just me expressing my passion. Even in this silly, goofy, not at all polished way that I do it. But the other thing this milestone brings, other than just an acknowledgement of this insane thing that has happened here on this channel, is this other side that I struggle to talk about candidly because it feels gross, which is money. Money! And what I mean by that is, if you're not aware, 1,000 subscribers is the threshold where you can start to get ad revenue on your channel. And I didn't immediately turn that on, as I didn't want to jump the gun on that by any means, and I don't expect much from it even if I do turn it on, and I don't want anyone to mistake what I'm doing for just being an attempt to grab that bag, because it really isn't. It really isn't. There's always that dream high in the sky that YouTube could be a job for me or whatever, but it's never really been a real possibility in my mind. It's been something that I could dream of. It's been something that technically could happen, but I didn't expect it to ever, and still don't, realistically. But just like how this channel has helped me to express my passions and how I realized that as I went, I also want to acknowledge and leave the opportunity for these silly, ridiculous dreams to pull from the thing that got me to 1,000 subscribers, the Angels of Delusion. I want to at least give this opportunity for this more delusional dream. And though technically I could wait to turn it on until I'm bigger or whatever, the only way I'd be able to make that happen without turning on ad revenue monetization stuff is if just so many of you supported me as members that it is unrealistic and I'd feel bad. And also in contrast to that, where I want to do it as an avenue of acknowledging this possibility, this dream, no matter how small, there is the reality that in the current state of the channel, where it's basically just a hobby of something I'm doing in my free time, I can't necessarily keep doing it at the degree I am forever. And that sucks to say. I hate to say it, but knowing myself, knowing where my current life is at and where I need to go in the future, just in my daily life, in the continuation of my growth as a person, whether that be in schooling or professions or whatever, after the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, something around there, that sort of half a year, little bit over period, I'm probably going to end up in a spot where I can't dedicate as much time to this channel. I don't think I'll ever stop fully, but I've, in this last year and a half or so that this channel has existed, almost 2 years, we're getting closer to that than I can process, but in that period that the channel has existed, I have been in a place in my life where I have the time to do this, where my life isn't fully consumed by a job or school or something like that. But that won't always be the case. And so that also sort of curves back on this of, I am in a stable spot as I am right now in my life. I am not desperate. I am not struggling in the way of survival. Like, I have everything I need to live, but that is because I rely on others and have a good support structure of friends and family. And as I move to be more self-sufficient, I at a certain point have to be realistic about what I'm doing. And this is not to say that the channel is dying. That is not to say that I won't be doing stuff anymore. As I said, I want to do more if I can. But it really comes to this thing of the near future of this channel is the do or die period for a little bit. I don't expect to suddenly, in half a year after a year and a half of just getting to this point, suddenly explode to the point that this is a full job or anything. Really, all that I can hope for, that I can realistically expect to even be a possibility, is that I could get this channel to a point where, to make it sound more dramatic and impressive than it is, where the fruits of my labor start to pay off to the people around me and the people who care about me and want me to succeed and that kind of thing. Because like I said, I have an amazing support structure. I have friends and family who support what I'm doing here on this channel, but they know and I know that unless this channel continues to grow, it really is just this thing I'm doing as a hobby on the side. And I'm fucking rambling here. I'm struggling to put the words into a proper way that I want to. But ultimately, what this is all just trying to say is I'm going to keep doing what I am right now. It's just I'm going to be turning on ads, as much as I sort of dislike having to do that. As someone who is well aware of how to avoid ads on YouTube I am not a fan of them, and I don't love having to turn those on, but money is king. Money rules the world. And so just like how I turned on memberships back at 500 subscribers about like 7 or 8 months ago, I'm turning this on as another step towards this unlikely possibility, this out there delusional dream. And if anything, I'm going to try to lock in and go harder in this next half year or so than I have before. I don't know if that's going to work out. I might crash and burn at the first step and it'll just be the same as it always has been or worse. Who fucking knows? But I want to go as far as I can with this. And there may come a point where I have to slow down, where I have to reduce what I'm doing, but I don't want to give up on the channel. And if in this next half year, whatever it is, even if I've reduced what I'm doing, the channel can get to a point where whatever numbers I'm getting are enough to, I don't know, it feels disingenuous and harsh to say it this way, but to prove to the people around me and that are supporting me that this is a legitimate possible avenue, because I would say it isn't that yet. But if it could be, we need to get there. And so this has been a long fucking ramble, but simply speaking in plain English, I'm turning on ad monetization for the channel. I'm going to try to do more, and I'll get into what I'm doing more in a moment now, but that may not last. In the latter half of this year, I may have to pull back a little bit, depending on things, unless things really pop off. And this is all in the name of seeing if I can, while I have the chance, sort of chase this dream. But with that rambled through very poorly, to touch on what I actually want to do going forward. I'm going to keep up with my video reactions and analysis on Hoyoverse stuff, and on anime, hopefully. I'm going to see about returning to Fruits Basket when I get the chance. I sort of want to rewatch the episodes I've seen, maybe take some notes, so that when I get back to it, I really know what I'm in for and what I'm going into. So that won't be immediate, but hopefully it'll be sooner than later. Need to see about when I can do that and how I manage it. I'm going to keep streaming. I'm going to try to keep as consistent as I can with streaming every Tuesday. And though I can't guarantee a weekly consistency beyond the once a week Tuesday slot or shift it around elsewhere, I do deeply want to stream when I can a second time each week. And I've been thinking about what to do for that. We have the Pokemon stuff I've done when I have time between stuff releasing. I want to keep up with that, don't want to abandon that. But realistically, I want to diversify a little bit. I've dipped my toes into that before with occasional streams, but I've always sort of left it at just the one attempt for other things. And I've sort of come to one main idea, which is, hey, most of the gaming stuff I cover here is Hoyoverse and gacha game stuff, mainly about narrative stuff. So what if I dip my toes into some other story-rich gacha game stuff? I've done a little bit in some others before. For example, I literally have a video on my channel of my first experience with Whirling Waves back early on the experience of my channel. It's a bad video, don't watch it. And I've touched on some other stuff just in my own time prior to the existence of the channel. But largely speaking, Hoyoverse is where my main sort of knowledge lies. And it could be an interesting thing in me trying to be a little bit more consistent with doing some more streams that I might look to another game like that to not have as like religiously making videos on or anything as the Hoyoverse stuff, but just as like a on-stream playing through the story, catching up with it. And I have a few ideas of games for that. I've had some suggestions from friends. I would also be curious to hear what you all think and what your opinion is and what you'd want to most see. So I'm probably going to make a poll, a community post, for just like the 4 main ones I can think of that I would be interested in, that then you guys can all give your opinions on what you'd want to see first and foremost. This is very much sort of a half-developed idea. I need to look at some of the validity of some of the games to be like streamed and stuff, but it's something that I've sort of been toying with for a while, and it's a representation of sort of what I want to do more of on the channel. So look forward to that in all likelihood. Feel free to leave comments on this video if you have any suggestions of, realistically for this poll it would be gacha, but realistically anything that you think it would be interesting to see sort of my take on, my experience of. It would mainly be in streams. It wouldn't really be video stuff unless I get crazy with it and really lock in and enjoy it. Like I said, I have some in mind, but I'd be curious to see what you all are thinking and expecting and wanting. Or if that's a terrible idea and you don't want that, say that too. As long as it's legitimate criticism and not just insults, go for it. But then beyond that, beyond streams and like expanding into some of that other stuff, another thing that I have touched on before in previous update videos and just in general is an interest in doing a little bit more elaborate, a little bit more developed and produced video content. I made one attempt at it that, in my opinion, wasn't anything too crazy in my Hule analysis, which was very much just sort of a random spur of the moment thing I did in a few days and then edited over the course of like a couple weeks. But I have a couple ideas in mind that I might try to explore into more sort of analysis/theory video type stuff. Been struck with a little bit of inspiration on that front recently, but that's a much more tentative thing. I've said that I've wanted to do that stuff before, and that remains the case, but having attempted it before now, I know that is something that is very easily for me to just sort of fall into a pit and then keep digging and then not get out of and then just leave it be. So we'll see if anything comes of that, but I have some ideas, mainly Star Rail stuff lately, because I've been enjoying Star Rail. But beyond that, pretty much just more of the same, more of what I've been up to. I'm going to try to, whenever I can, keep to consistency, try to avoid these moments like I recently had where I don't get stuff out as soon as I can. Of course, realistically, I won't always be able to, and I try not to beat myself up about that. Once again, this is just something I do for fun right now, even if it won't be in the future if I, you know, the dream becomes real. But with that, this has been a total fucking ramble. I've been going on for like half an hour in just like my own recording time. Don't know how long it's going to be in the end product. I think I'll leave it there then. I think I'll leave it there. I don't know if I've said everything I wanted to, but I think I've hit the main things. I think I've hit sort of where I'm at with the channel, where it's gonna be going forward. And yeah, I don't know. It feels weird. It feels very strange to have gotten this far and to just keep looking up and go, I'm not far enough yet. 'Cause I don't want to discount what we've done with this channel. I say what we've done because, first off, it wouldn't have been possible without any of you. But I do find it funny how I sometimes default to we when a lot of the time it's me doing stuff and you guys watching. But I don't want to discount any aspect of this, whether it's the stuff I've done, the support you all have given. But really the thing I think that is, at the end of the day, the core behind the point of this video is me facing reality while also acknowledging the dream I have, which isn't a unique one. It's just that now that I'm at this point with this channel, it's something that feels, I don't know, a little more possible, a little bit more possible, something to strive for. So with that, though, I'm just continuing to ramble. Apologies for the messy video. It's just an update video, though, so I'm not too concerned. By the time you're watching this, shortly after this goes up, I will be turning on the monetization stuff, but that is all to say that I really appreciate all of the support that you guys have given me. All the support over the last year and a half or so, over the last 6 or 8 months, for the entire time this channel has existed, and hopefully into the future. With all that, I just hope that you all have a great day, and we can only hope that tomorrow is great as well. And I'm getting a little sappy here at the end, but yeah, I don't know. It feels right. So, yeah. See ya.